I think it's cool. We just saw, well, we're seeing, at least I am on my timeline. I'm seeing lots of companies. It's almost as if it's almost as if the NFT bear market's like not happening, because I just haven't seen a lack of companies talking about NFTs. Like the attention from retail really isn't there, and like search volume isn't really there. But companies are like not leaving the space. So I'm like, okay, people, that's a fucking sign right there. If major companies are still doing stuff, they haven't left.
And
You know?
venture capitalists are
Yeah.
pouring billions
Yeah.
into
So
the
I'm
space
sitting
in
here,
the
I'm like,
last month
whoa.
alone.
Yeah, like these
Yeah,
are
I
the guys
think
with the money.
you know what I think, and
Mm,
I'm just thinking about it with you, and I'm thinking of it as you said. I think that companies, businesses are used to having ups and downs, recessions, things
mm,
like that. Every couple of years it happens, business goes down, and it always comes up, right? I'm saying in real world financial recessions.
yep.
And so the experienced companies know that this is a good time to maybe get better deals than you would get otherwise, to enter space, to put money towards marketing, because all the smaller players, much smaller players, get scared. This
Mhm.
might be their first real recession. They stop. The first thing they stop, the smaller brands, is marketing.
Yep.
They're not interested anymore. But the bigger brands say, okay, well, now there's more marketing space available, and they push during these times because they know that they're going to come out the other side,
Right.
right?
That's
So
why I'm
I
so
think
big on
because
people just
crypto,
putting in work right now. I'm like, this is like, I
yeah,
know people don't want to, but I'm like, guys, you can set up your whole fucking life. Like people don't like right now. Like I said earlier in the stream, I'm kicking myself for not getting into crypto earlier. There was opportunities for me where I literally had a guy like in college. Did I tell you about this story? This guy did a speech about Bitcoin in 2016 or something. And I remember sitting there, listening to the whole thing because he was in my class, listened to the whole thing. At the end, I said, that's interesting, but nah. And I remember just being like, I almost said, let me go talk to him because he's a really cool guy. He's kind of weird, but like I would have talked to him and I probably would have bought some at that point, and I just fucking did it. And I remember thinking a few years later, if I just been early crypto, so now I'm in the same position. And I'm like, okay, I'm really fucking early to NFTs. I'm like, I need to take every single yes and make all and try and go down every single path I can go down because I don't know where they're gonna go and I don't know what's gonna pay off in 5 years. I don't know which decision I make is gonna be the most important one in 5 years, 10 years, because I might make one video that gets me hired by Nike in 5 years. Like I made a video about Ugaverse in the beginning of my journey, the very, very beginning, before anyone knew who I was. I made a YouTube video called Quest I Have for Ugaverse. That one video that got 250 views got me a job on a full-time job on a Web3 company, which propelled me straight into the NFT world because now I have all the freedom and time to go do NFT stuff. If I hadn't made that one video, I would never have done the reviews. I would have
sure.
never gone full time. And I'm
For
like, dude,
sure.
that's
And
where my head is at.
I think you're right. I think also, to build relationships and, actually pick up the phone or whatever, the WhatsApp phone or Discord voice and speak to people and get to know people. I
Mm-hmm.
think that the difference between Web2 and Web3 is Web2 have been through recessions before and know that they're going to come out the other side.
Right.
Web3 has been through a few bear markets, but
Not really,
there's
barely
always
though.
that there's always that thing like, will it actually go to
Yeah.
zero? Right.
Yeah.
So we know that the world's not going to go to zero long term. It's just not possible. There's too much innovation. We know that. We know that it might be a year of hardship or whatever, but we'll come out the other side because we've been through enough of them. I would imagine in the 1700s where they had a shortage of cows and they couldn't eat for a month, they must have all thought they were going to die in that recession, right?
Probably.
And so every time it comes around, so that's the difference. And I think that's what makes it so volatile, is that the fear is a lot more than in real life, right? We know recession will come and go in real life. Will crypto recover? Will NFTs recover? And the truth is that a lot of clever people are not 100% sure, and a lot of big fans of the space and technology, like me, are not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Like I'm 95% sure that we're going to have another bull and it's going to be bigger than the last one, and mass adoption will come and more new people will come in the space again. I'm like 95% sure. But as this bear market continues, it goes from 100% to 99.9 to I'm now about 95. Whereas in real life, I have no doubt that like the recession will come and go, and that's the difference. So the Web2 companies are happy to invest in this stage,
Yep.
whether it be in NFTs or whether it be in more TV adverts or more billboard adverts. I don't care. The big brands have got the marketing budget. They know they're going to come out.
Yep.
The question is, like, do we have that equivalent in Web3? And yes,
with
we
NFTs
have
or
big brands coming in.
Well, okay, yeah, I was gonna say, like, when you look at the crypto, bull run to bear run, like every time we see Bitcoin pump up and then the crash, right? It crashes really, really, really fucking hard. And then that's why in my head, I'm like, I don't know why people are so alarmed that NFTs are also going down. I'm like, guys, what do you expect?
I'll tell you why. No, because if crypto crashes, like when we saw Ethereum go to $1,000, NFTs crashed. Then Ethereum went up to 1,700 and NFTs crashed more because guys thought, let me sell quickly because it's worth more ETH. So whether it goes up or down, NFTs are going down.
Well, but the thing is, crypto's been around for years, right? We look at the first few, like ETH goes to a few $100, whatever, but then crashes down to like $10, right? Like I feel like that's where we're at with NFTs. Like 80%, NFTs crushes, but in the next 10 years, like the idea of crypto was still here after, even though ETH crashed to $10. Eventually the idea of Web3 is there. And in my head, the reason I haven't dove into crypto content is because in the long term, I still see that the online communities, that's why I haven't gone nerd mode in crypto, because I think there's way more opportunity and interest in the NFTs cultural side. Like I think cultural references, trending stories, that's where NFTs fit really, really well into, and people have a better chance of going into NFTs than they do crypto, in my opinion. It's way more interesting. It's way more fun. The digital online community aspect of everything is what makes it different. And in my head, I'm like, it's gonna, we're in the first year basically of NFTs. I mean, people say it's been around since 2017, but not really. It's really been around for like a year. Right. And so in my head, I'm like, we are at the most volatile moment ever of all time for NFTs, because we saw that massive bull run. But in my head, I'm like, the idea of NFTs and online digital communities will be here because they've been here forever. The beginning of social media had that.
But in what shape and form?